Welcome to another episode of the Protein Bros podcast. I am your host, Jeff Wasserman, and with me as always, my co-host, Kyle Combs.
What's going on, guys?
And on today's podcast, we have one of Kansas City's premier sports performance specialists, works with NFL players, UFC fighters, and a variety of other high-level athletes, including the cheetah himself, Tyreek Hill. He's a former pro athlete himself. Please help us welcome Luther Glover.
What's up, dude?
Can I get an applause button? Let me get an applause button.
No, dude. Every time I try and hit the applause button,
hit a mystery button. Let's go for it.
Oh, damn.
Joke's on you. All right, so let's get started, Luther. You are from Kansas City.
Wyandotte.
Born and raised.
Mm-hmm.
And you were talking to us about how just growing up in Kansas City, totally different for most people.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
So growing up in Wyandotte was different because my family, my mom and dad, we were lower class. They worked 9 to 5, round the clock, might try to make ends meet. So for me, I fell in love with sports, of course. My sport was basketball.
And you were an only child, correct?
Yeah, so my mom and dad couldn't afford for me to just go to college. So
sure,
basketball was my ticket. So I was like super scared. I was nervous, so I didn't try my freshman year of high school. And my sophomore year I tried out. And just every year I got better and better.
And had you been playing basketball up until that point?
Yeah. But I was just like backyard, I never really,
sure. Never organized?
I played AAU ball, but I didn't start playing. I did everything late. Like I was a late bloomer.
Sure.
So like all the guys who were already my age, they had already been way better skilled, and they had trainers, they had all this stuff, but it was all hush-hush back then. Back then, my mom and dad, they let me know, like, hey, whatever you want to do, we'll support you as much as we can to try to get you where you want to be. And, I fell in love with basketball, like I said, and wanted to get more serious my sophomore year. And I went to a game, I never forget, I went to a game at, I can't think, it was like, Mizzou. So I'm like, yeah. I said, I want to play ball. This is what I want to do. And I worked my ass off every day. I went to, all the community centers in the hood, Kensington, JFK, parks, playing ball every day. But back then, we didn't know nothing. My parents didn't know nothing about, like, ACTs and NCAA clearinghouse, all this shit you got to do. So it was like everything was late. So I was, like, late on that. So by my senior year, I had a lot of D2 offers, a lot of JUCO offers. And then I had like 3 D1 offers like Pepperdine, Siena, Holy Cross, stuff like that.
You were about to go out play in Malibu?
Dude, you should have done Pepperdine.
Pepperdine out in Malibu, California?
Ventura Community College. I had all these schools. My folks didn't know the recruiting process, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So they was like, well, I'm only child. Mom's not going to let me go to Cali. Not in Malibu. I went out there twice, though. It was nice. But not happening.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
just wild to think back, right? Like, if you had some extra guidance, right?
Yeah.
Was your head coach not very helpful in this process?
So, Coach Sparkman, he's a great dude. But when it came to like recruitment, he had his favorites. And, if you're not his favorite, it's like you're on your own.
Right.
So it's like my whole journey with everything I've done has always been scenic. And so, like, from me, getting a scholarship just to go. All those scholarships with me doing everything proactive, my parents.
Right.
So then after that, like going to JUCO, from there I went to North Dakota, left there because it was super racist. Went to Lincoln my last year in Jeff City, played there. Gonna take a job opportunity in Boeing or Vector or liaison for the FBI. I had all those opportunities, and I'm like, man. Then I got that one call. And they were like, look, we want you to come out here to Long Beach, play in the Summer League, NBA Summer League select team. Got cut, so I'm like, guess it's time to start working. And that's how it all started. Like my college coach, Coach Charles Terry, he got me on in Mexico. So I played in Mexico. Team went bankrupt, played on another team over there, same season. Then from there I went to Bogota, Colombia. From there I went to Estonia, Kazakhstan, Finland, Poland.
Holy hell, man.
India.
Just all throughout Europe.
Around. Kiev, Warsaw, just So I did that. I played in 10 countries in 7 years.
Did you actually have a favorite country out of all those? I mean, professional ball over there is no joke.
3, I'd say Bogota. Of course, we know why Bogota.
No, I don't.
Colombia.
Oh, the ladies.
Yes.
Colombia. Gotcha.
So
Genetically gifted, I hear.
Yeah.
Belarus, Russia,
Okay.
and then
Same reason though?
no, it was cool. That was cool. It was different. I got paid a lot, and it was just the living conditions was kind of bad. It was super cold.
Oh man, I can only imagine.
And then
all the time.
Yeah, and then Poland. Love Poland. I would go back there if I could right now. But everywhere else, I wouldn't go back to Mexico. I wouldn't go back to Estonia. Helsinki, Finland, that was really nice.
Pretty place. I heard it's clean as hell
clean
there.
as hell.
Yeah.
Clean. I'm talking about like the roads. No, you don't see any dirt anywhere.
It's crazy.
It's just people don't speak. Like you say, how you doing? They look at you like,
Why are you talking to me?
yeah.
Wow.
It's just like the culture.
What made Poland so cool?
So I was in Krakow where the concentration camp was. It was very interesting. So I got all kind of pictures and shit on my Facebook of that shit. You're
talking about like the Holocaust days?
Shit was wild, man.
Wow.
So that's where I was at, and
So that it's a perspective thing. It's like you go and you look at that and you're like, damn,
this is history.
Yeah.
But when you go in there and you actually in where the shit went down, like the gun room and all this, the gun wall, whatever, and then you see all this stuff. This is like in history books, and you're actually there. It got real muggy and like your stomach you get nauseated and dizzy.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a weird sick feeling around that shit. Mm-hmm. And so I just like, oh yeah, I gotta get out of here, man. Because I thought I was gonna throw up. Honestly, I was like, man. But I got all kind of pictures. You can check them out on my Facebook. It's all kind of shit like the gas masks, the gas chambers. You can see all the luggages. These people he went over there. It was just like for real history. I mean, it was a messed up part of history, but
dude, you know
wild.
what's crazy to me when I think about that is like, dude, that was less than 100 years ago. Like it wasn't a long time ago. It was like, your grandparents, our grandparents could have, been dealing with that. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. As a Jew, I would tell you that like my grandparents actually did tell me about that stuff, and it was wild.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, man. It's crazy that stuff's capable, and like I feel like there's obviously a lot of parallels being drawn to how things are going right now, as far as just what side are you going to be on in history, on what you were thinking, how this was going to go. And I feel like, you got kicked out of, you said 2 businesses last week, and there wasn't even a mask mandate going on, right?
Man, I'm sitting there like, okay, I go in, and
this was a vitamin shop. We should clarify that.
It's not a supplement superstore.
This was not you went into a vitamin shop for a buddy. Wasn't for himself. He shops with us.
I just my buddy had, he was sick. Said, can you pick it up? Go in there. They say, get out. You can't come in here. You have a mask. I'm like, whoa, okay.
They said you need to stay outside.
Yeah.
But this is also but you also just to be clear, Johnson County at this moment does not have a mask mandate. So this was just the company itself instituting it. Okay.
The funny thing about that is like there's just certain people, when you give them a little bit of power, they love to exercise it.
Right.
So you're a bigger dude, you come in and they're like, I can tell this dude to leave.
I can't wait to tell this dude to leave.
I ain't got no problem.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what's funny? Costco was like the first company, well before, right when the shutdown happened. Masks were not a thing, right? Like you got to keep those for the first responders and so forth,
right?
And people on the front lines, and so no one was wearing masks. But Costco was the first to require a mask way before like your local municipality required it, right? Mm-hmm. So if I just wanted to come in and grab like a 36 pack of soda, I would have to, have a mask, and I didn't have one, and they didn't provide one at the time. And so what's crazy is now, in Costco, I've been escorted out of a Costco because I didn't have my mask on me for real, and they didn't have any handy. They didn't have any left, and so they were like, "You're just gonna have to not be in here." And I was like, "All right," And so, bottom line, it was crazy. I was in Costco yesterday, and it's like, numbers couldn't be worse as far as people getting, COVID. It seems like recently in the last few weeks, and they, because there's no local requirement, they stopped requiring it.
Yeah,
and so it was weird. Yeah, but like Luther's saying just a few weeks ago, he had the same. He went into a place and was escorted out because he didn't have a mask on, and it's not like local government's not requiring it. It's just wild how this. I don't know what the right answer is. I'm just trying to make everybody happy, more or less.
Yeah. So getting back to your playing days. What, you talked about when you were growing up, you were on the lower end of the economic side coming up. Do you think that helped with the internal drive to want to be successful in basketball and want to make money by going overseas and playing professionally? Where did your internal drive come from? Or did that come from your parents? What you said your parents worked a lot, so
I'm going to say both. One of my, on my t-shirt, I have a t-shirt, a Luther Cliff workout t-shirt. One of them always telling me, I know your why. And that why is going to always be subject to change, whether it's what career you do, if you're in the weight room, whatever the hell you're doing, you always got to know what your why is, and that keeps everything in perspective, right? So once you know that, and you're having a shitty day, you always got to reflect and say, well, that's my why. You know, knowing that will always get you through shit. And I'd say the parents seeing my mom and dad work. My mom was a social worker. She made $35,000 a year before tax. Dad, he drove a truck 33 years for Orange Cornings. He made like 75, 80, right? Still not a lot to, you know, and you know, just seeing that work ethic they had, it was days that, you know, my mom wouldn't pay bills to make sure I had basketball shoes, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, seeing that shit, it's like, okay, I got to turn it up. You know what I mean? There's no way around it. Like, you know, and that was, I think, what instilled me to like just work hard and keep positive people around me, because not knowing the unknown is scary. And so you just like got to keep people around you like, shit, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, but something's going to happen. And I got to stay ready. Like, so like back then it was being in the gym every day, getting jump shots up. I have two close friends, Palmer McCrory, he's a detective in Wyandotte now, a good dude. He also has his own security company on the side. And he's rebound for me every day. Every day at YMCA, he rebound for me and I get jump shots. I'm like, he'd be like, yeah, let's go get these shots up, man. And like we real tight, man. Like, you know, to have somebody believe in you and you don't know how much they impacted you impacted their life by just seeing, I'm just thinking this guy's rebounding for me, but nah, I'm rebounding for him too. You know, we're doing the same thing, and, you know, he ended up playing just high school ball at Wyandotte, but, you know, myself, I just took it a step further, like, shit, this is my ticket for college. Mm-hmm. Okay, then after that, how do I make money? You know, everybody's dream is playing NBA. And then my junior year, I'm like, shit, this isn't promised. Make sure I get my degrees. But looking back and how every decade changes, like now it's the NIL, now it's this and that. Guys are getting paid now. Back then we couldn't do that, you know what I mean? And so like,
and when you mention the NIL for our listeners, that's name, image, and likeness, right? For a young athlete, you know, college athletes were not able to make money,
right?
And now, you know, any amateur athlete is allowed to make money off their name, image, or likeness. And so you got kids in college right now that are millionaires.
In
high school.
I got kids that I train.
Getting all kinds of deals.
Yeah, I got kids I train that I can't talk about their names, but they, like, two of them are millionaires, and they dropped out. They're juniors. They dropped out. One of them's in Italy right now, $2 million, tax-free. One of them is actually at Memphis. And, I mean, I don't work with him, but I got a buddy that works with him. And it's just mind-boggling knowing that this kid, he's got $3 million and he's a freshman in college. And we know he's going to the NBA.
Right. And he knows it too.
Man, it's just like, man, it's come so long, because some of my close friends like Kareem Rush and the Rushes, Kareem was like, man, I got in trouble for this shit. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You know, now, 15 years later, it's legal.
100%.
Dude, people get their Heisman trophies stripped from.
Yeah.
And now it's legal.
Yeah. The amount of people that spent time in jail for smoking weed, and now it's legal.
And like I was telling my buddy yesterday, I said the basketball is like an open playing field. If you got any kind of a brand or a likeliness or a niche, like, man, sky's the limit. You could be a walk-on or you could be a red shirt making 100,000, not doing shit.
I'm so interested. Well, this is kind of a side tangent, but I'm so interested.
Have a whole podcast on NIL.
If you could go in, 10 years in the future to see what happens to college athletes, because it's like, how are they going to stop Alabama from literally having payrolls like an NFL team?
Because what's going to happen is if they don't, these kids are going to just go. They're going to enter. Like for basketball, it's way different.
Because they can go straight to the NBA.
No. Because they put that thing in where you have to go 1
year.
1 year.
One year. And they don't have to go to college at all.
Yeah, now what kids are doing, like look what Dwayne Wade did. His kid went to prep school.
Yeah.
2 years. Then where's he at now? G League. Well, what G League team is he on? The Utah Jazz. Who owns the Utah Jazz? Part owner. Dwayne Wade. You see what I'm saying? So it's like now kids, what they're gonna do is they're gonna find a way around that 1 year and bypass college.
Oh yeah, the Mellows, for example. I mean, none of them went to college.
No, that's what I'm saying. So they found out a way around it. Like, okay, we're not gonna go to college and let the institution make money off of us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this has been going on for decades. And now can't do that no more. What's gonna happen is, my theory is with basketball is, guys are gonna, the European market is gonna get saturated, because I'm really good friends with Ricky Paul and played at Mizzou. Really good dude. He's been playing over there 17 years.
Man, I used to root the hell for Ricky Paul.
Man,
and AJ.
Great
Arthur
guy.
Johnson.
Great guys, both of them.
Yeah.
Ricky's been over there 17 years, and this is his last season over there. He lives in Lee Summit. He's my neighbor. He's a good dude.
That's wild.
He was telling me how, like, now kids are coming over there, young guys, 17, 16, like, they're playing at lower levels, because in Europe it's been going on for years anyway. They don't have AAU ball over there. It's club teams. So they go to high school and you go to your club team year round. That's how these guys, that's how I got into training. Like 2011 when I was in Finland, I'm like, man, they gave me this, the coach, Mitch Iverson was like, look, I'm gonna give you this booklet. And our team went bankrupt because all the board of curators was embezzling money. They embezzled like 20 million. So I'm like, damn. Next thing I know, I'm in an apartment, not knowing what's gonna happen. Coach Iverson was like, look, I'm gonna pay you, the guy's gonna pay you $4,000, work all these kids out, like work them out. Gave me this little booklet. So he's like, this is how I got into skills training. I'm like, man, okay, like this is what they do year round. This is what these Europeans do. That's why the NBA goes to Europe to recruit these guys, bring them back over here, because they've been doing this shit since they were like 12, 11 years old. Right. You know what I mean? They already fundamentally sound. They may not be as athletic, but they got the fundamentals down. They got the jump shots down. They basic. Everything's basic. You know, like Manu Ginobili, remember, like Tony Parker.
Oh, yeah.
All these guys are fundamentally sound, so that's why. But they were started when they were like 9, 10, doing this shit. You know what I mean? Where us as Americans, we're bullheaded, we're stubborn. We just rely off our God-given talent and our athleticism.
Everybody's hot shotting, hot dogging out here.
And that's why, like, people are like, why is the NBA going more diverse, global?
No doubt. That's why. Yeah, Europeans are coming over, taking over the first round.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a cool story. So it's basically like the team you were playing for went bankrupt. The guy came in and said, "Hey, man, start training these guys. You can make some money doing this." And that's how you got into sports.
You got to be here anyway.
That's how it all got started. Back then, back 2011, I'm like, okay, when I get done playing, or when I get back to the States, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna find a gym, and I'm gonna do this while I'm there, so I can get better at it.
Yeah.
Because I had a trainer, and I didn't get a trainer until my first year of playing pro. It's Scott Webman, and Scott Webman, he was like, yo, I went to him 3 days a week, and I'm like, man, this is what guys been doing for all these years. Like, dudes I know wouldn't tell me this. Like, I went into, I never forget, I go on one of the
competitive advantage.
Yeah.
You know?
So I go in there, I'm like, dang, you've been going? Oh, yeah, I've been coming here for a minute. But no, that's what I'm saying. It goes back to no one tells you no one shit, because they want the competitive edge. Plus, not even that. It's a selfish mindset. Like, we all in the same city. We all do the same thing. Let's work out together.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 39.
Yeah, so I mean, dude, we're relatively the same age, and I feel like the sports performance market for like the younger people didn't happen until, I mean, I graduated in 2005, and it wasn't like it is now.
College,
high school.
Okay,
yeah. I went to Garden City Community College, and then I went to Missouri State, and I graduated Missouri State in 2010. Okay. But it was like, I just feel like around that time is when sports performance gyms were becoming like all the rage. And then it was like, when you talk to a high school baseball player, all of them were, in some kind of baseball camp. I mean, basketball was probably like the leading edge on that, because kids were, I remember when I was in high school, the best basketball players were playing AAU. They were already doing specific sports performance stuff. But now it's like, if you're an athlete and you don't have a coach, and
it's not gonna work.
No, you're playing against people that's all they do. That's all they focus on.
Because like now what's going on too is like, I'm not a coach, so like the rules are a lot different for me. Coaches can talk to me about players. Yeah. So they're bypassing their AAU coaches. They're bypassing their, it's either they're gonna talk to the parents or their trainers. And
I would also argue that you, as a trainer, you're gonna have a closer relationship with these kids than a coach typically. Yeah,
because and I'm gonna tell them like both sides, the black, the white, and the gray. You don't because hell, I've been through it. Other athletes been through it. I know you've been through it probably with baseball. And so you want to give the kid, whether it's a girl or a boy, you want to let them know how this whole thing works. It's very cutthroat. Sports are very cutthroat. And I like to let the kids know, look, from the business side of things, I'm not here to shit on your dream, but learn from me I could tell you a shitty experience real quick. I was in Mexico. I'll never forget this. I'm in Mexico, in Tijuana. Played the whole preseason. Did real well. Coaches, the general manager's like, great. You did a good job. We're going to take you back to the hotel. Like, okay. Dude, he took me to, this is Tijuana. He took me to San Diego border. Me and the two other big men, dropped us off. Gave me a white envelope with $3,000 in it and said, we'll be in touch in 2 weeks.
Jeez.
And we had to walk to the from
and just say, hey, can you let me back in?
Yeah, we had to walk. Yeah, we had to walk from the Tijuana to San Diego, and then I ended up paying for everybody's plane ticket because I'm like, man, this is a fucked up situation. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't get him nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he liked me, and he was like, yo, we'll be in touch. And that's why I said, like, you hear people with these lustrous stories. Like Ricky's great. You know, he's in a great situation with his team in Germany. He's been on the same team 17 years. He was drafted by the Pistons. Great dude. But my story, like I said, scenic route, I have great experiences, but I had to really get in there, and, you know, I have agents vouching for me and pulling for me, and, you know, my agent was myself and also other players, right? I had one agent give me one contract. Everything else in 7 years was me networking and talking to other players. And when I'm ever in the countries, be cool with everybody, because you never know who's going to help you out.
Yeah, you were saying as an only child, you had to get relationships everywhere you went.
That's the only way you're going to make it, because nobody, it's all who you know with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, So I'd be like, hey, man, and I negotiate my own contracts. Hey, this is what I need, my insurance, my return flight. I need my flat, which is an apartment over there. I negotiate all that shit, because an agent's going to just get 5% of that, you know, between 5 and 13%. You know, and
that's a shitload of money. Yeah,
depending on, especially if you're in the NBA or NFL, you know, you got let's say you got a $65, $70 million deal, and let's say I'm one of these top NBA agents. I say, okay, I want 13% of that $65, $70 million. Okay, that's $8 million off tops to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how it works. And they don't, you know, my goal is to expose. If I got a young athlete who he or she has a potential to go high major and beyond with this stuff, to go pro, then I want to let them know, don't be blinded with this stuff, because no one told me this stuff. I had to learn on my own. I had people around me that could have told me, but they let me experience it instead of saying, look, here goes a red flag. You know what I mean? Like, so I want to, like, expose that to people early, because I'd hate someone to go through a shitty experience like I've been through when it could have been alleviated, or it could have been brought to their attention and then presented to them in a way like, hey, beware of this. You know what I mean? Like,
so you mentor these young guys and try to help them as far as from making the same kind of mistakes that had happened to you along the way.
Yep.
There's something to be said, man, when it comes to being able to mentor young guys now. You know, have you been able to do anything? Do you have any examples of stories like that in your training career where you've been able to guide somebody in the right direction and keep them, you know, from making the same kind of mistakes?
I got a few. More so, I'd say I got more. So one of my biggest things is mental health. So like I used to struggle with depression, and so like I have a lot of athletes who deal with that. A lot of female athletes,
sure,
who are like cutters or take pills, all kind of crap. So I've just started. It's in the makes. It'll be done here in the next week or two. A nonprofit to, one, help kids who can't afford my training, and then the other part is I partnered with 3 different therapists to get kids who need help with depression, mental health, with the right people.
That's awesome.
Because that's big for me, because I'm like, shit, a lot of coaches forget, especially when you got female athletes, you can't be hard on them like you are with the guys. And they may be having a shitty day, they may be having a period, they may be going through that stage in their life where they want to be accepted, or they want to be pretty.
Sure.
They want to feel great and want it. And you just belittle them and talk really bad to them. So now that girl goes home, she's already depressed, and she may do some crazy shit. You know what I mean? That's the stuff nobody knows about. You know what I mean? That I've dealt with over the last 8 years of having a gym.
Sure.
And
there's certain people where it's like, if you don't, you have to be able to tell, should I be building this person's confidence? Or there's certain athletes where it's like, you know, they feed off.
This is how you get the best out of them.
And they're not going to do that. You understand, man. Again, it's business.
Yeah.
Most competitive teams are business. Mm-hmm. You know, if I'm one of the top basketball clubs who are sponsored by Nike or Adidas, whatever, I have to keep that sponsorship. So I'm gonna go find the top kids. I'm gonna make sure they know what's going on and what is at stake of my team losing sponsorship money, product. And so some coaches don't look at the aftermath, or they don't look at like, hey, let me treat this boy or girl, I can criticize and critique you, but also let me give you some positive reinforcement.
Sure.
Don't just shit on you, like go home and now I'm down and I don't even want to play basketball no more. I've had a lot of those stories where the coach is so hard on these kids where they don't even want to play or they get burned out at an early age. And so the kids is like, damn, I don't want to play no more.
Did you go through that?
Nah, man, I love basketball.
You said you were a late bloomer too, in the sense of you didn't really have your grind time wasn't until later.
So I had a chip on my shoulder. I was like, hey, I got to get it.
Yeah.
You can talk all the shit you want. I want it. Like I got, basketball I used it as a vehicle. I got two college degrees out of it, and then from then, I as far as the training goes, my undergrad, was business administration, and then also minor biomechanics movement, and that's where the training comes from. And then I got my other ones in ISSA and all this other shit. But, being an ex-athlete, you can attest to this. Like, most trainers who got all the damn certs and stuff, they don't understand. Like, most trainers, and I'm not saying most, but a lot of trainers who have all that shit, they've never played a sport in their life.
They don't have
so
the
they can sit here and knock all this damn this jargon down.
Mm-hmm.
But hell, if I got a baseball guy and I sit here and say, hey, my opinion, if I got pitchers, I don't like to do a lot of press movements. You know what I mean? Why? Because if I'm already throwing the ball forward, I'm going to do, this is my opinion, my expertise, I like to do more stuff to work on their back and their transverse abdominal, stuff like that. You know what I mean? They're rotational, anti-rotation type shit. But I don't have the bells and whistles, and I don't have all the, kinesiology and blah, blah, blah. So, I just look at what I do have, what degrees I have and certs I have, and then I go to furthering education seminars. I try to do 2 of those a summer, and then get around other ex-athletes like myself who are into sports performance training and try to help these guys. Because just because, I feel like some guys who've never played or never, experienced sports, because I've never played football, I've never played baseball, but looking at whatever position you are, you got to use your common sense knowledge. I feel like some guys don't do that. They just, the book says this, so
your street smarts is
like,
much higher.
Man. Like, come on, man. Like, nah.
I'm with you on that, dude.
That's how you mess these guys up. You know what I mean?
We go through that, because, we give our staff gives out advice in the stores, right? And so we always, we talk about, it's really hard for some of our young guys who've never had a problem with gaining weight. They have a really hard time helping somebody lose weight. So we literally have our newest employees try to follow a very strict plan, some kind of a meal plan in the very beginning of them working for us. And that's on purpose so they can actually relate to these people when they're coming in the door. You can say all you want, you have this or that degree or that certification. They know in their heart that they have all the right tools to help somebody lose weight. But if they can't actually get on a relation level where they can empathize with that person and what they're going through, it's a lot harder to follow that plan.
And they're not going to sell for it.
Exactly.
The business move is going to be a failure.
You're not going to be able to really get a true, relationship built there, without knowing like, hey, I know where you're going through.
Correct.
So I'm with you on that 100%.
People follow confidence, dude. And if you haven't done it yourself, then you're not going to be confident in what you're saying.
Yeah. Like my phenomenal, I have just picked up one of my new full-time trainers, Jackie. We call her Slapjack. She was at K-State, just graduated in December. She played K-State volleyball, so she's all about sports performance. She has her degree in dietitian, so she knows her crap. Like, she knows it. But I had to let her know what you just said is true. Like, always assess people. Don't just assume and think about, just because they're an athlete, if they've never done shit, use your common sense.
Yeah.
You got to always, just because you have, the more, I've told her this, I said, check this out. The most athletic people I train are the hardest people to train.
Right.
Because they're so athletic and they're so God-given talent. When you get them on the basketball court, like, it's like they get anxiety, like. But it's funny because when college coaches come in there and they see the kid look like shit on skilled basketball workouts, like shooting off the dribble or doing drill moves, the coaches already know, that must be the kid that's really good. I'm like, how do you know? And I asked the coach one time, a specific coach, how do you know that? Oh, most kids who are very talented are shitty at this type of stuff because their brain and their God-given talent supersedes skill stuff. Not saying they don't need it.
It's that their instincts kick in when they need it.
And so that's why I was explaining to her, like, when you have a guy, like a KU guy who's extremely athletic, this and that, when it comes to the weight room, you have to dummy shit down. You know, and like, I was telling her certain things, how I work. I don't believe in like, you know, guys 6'5", 6'8", 6'10", doing heavy loads on their back because, you know, you got 315 pounds on a guy who's 6'10", 6'11". He's going to have a forward lean, you know, messing with his lower lumbar. You know, now he's not getting anything out of that. So what I usually do with guys like that, I help them do like goblet squats with isometric holds and stuff like that. You know, it's just a different way of doing it.
Yeah, you're
but
100% curating that.
Yeah, it's safe on the back versus I got a 6'11" guy with 315 on his back.
Yeah.
Most likely his lower posterior chain is already weak as shit. You know what I mean? So I was telling her to always think like that. Just because it says, you know, and training pros are way different too because most pros are already strong. You just got to work on their imbalances.
And you don't want to hurt them.
Yeah, you don't want to hurt them. That's the last thing you want to do, but you want to work on their imbalances, and you want to do shit that you know they need to work on. Like for most of them, you got to instill a lot of stability in their knees and joints and ligaments because they don't have a lot of stability in it.
Yeah, sports performance, man, is so different, right? Just like sports nutrition, you know, everybody grew up, you know, saying, hey, you know, 2,000 calorie diet day. And you're like, for men and women?
Yeah.
Like, I'm 100 pounds bigger than most women. Why would I want 2,000? You know what I'm saying? Just, you got to really be specific to what the person's goals are and what they're trying to do, right?
Yeah, I had a CrossFit lady. She was doing 800 calories of carbs a day. 800.
Hell yeah. Good for her.
Shredded like crazy.
Of course.
No body fat.
Right.
When you're working with, like, so obviously you work with a lot of professional athletes. Is there, you know, a difference that you see in mindset versus when you're working with a professional athlete versus a general population person?
Believe it or not, a lot of them are the same.
Yeah.
It's just you got one guy with a lot of money, a lot of time on his hands. He's gonna be playing the video games a lot. But I can honestly attest that, for as work ethic, my pros usually work harder than my top high school and college kids.
Yeah.
I think my top high school and college kids, when it comes to like sometimes certain sports, they get complacent. Like I already know I'm about to go to the, you know, Major League Baseball, or I know I'm going to make it. So
man, so tough.
Like, hey, I can chill, and you know, then they get around when these dudes is already there, like when these dogs, when these pros. They're like, oh shit, let me turn.
I better step my game up.
They outperform their peers by such like a wide margin. They don't have to try as hard. So it's what goes to show you that once you get up there in talent, you really need to surround yourself with some people that are going to make you better.
And see, guys don't understand, man. At the pro level, everything is like, it's like discipline. So when the pro comes in, you know how you get to. I can tell you if like I know two girls right now who play high major right now, NCAA basketball. Both of those girls are going to go to WNBA, I guarantee. How they carry themselves, how they conduct themselves, they come in the gym, the way they approach is to the game of workouts and shit. Man, they first come in, they take off their shit, they do their active dynamic warm up, you know, their high knees, butt kicks, shit like that. I don't even gotta tell them, they just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Then they do they form shooting, you know. Then it's a routine. Boom, 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 boom. You don't have to teach that. And that's something you can't teach. You can't teach heart, work ethic, height, none of that type of shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't teach that.
Those are intangibles.
And those are intangibles. If you have them, your chances are high.
Yeah.
The more of those you have. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you right now, whenever a girl, most of my girl athletes, they work hard. The girls were always work super hard. You know what I mean? Because I have some of my girls who don't work hard, but most of them, they work extremely hard at their craft, whether it's soccer, volleyball, field hockey, whatever. They work extremely hard, you know. But it's just like I noticed, like getting a high level basketball guy in there with certs with a already college guy or NBA guy, whole nother ball game. Because I'm like, you say you want to go to the NBA, you look over here and you see this guy, he goes 10 for 10. Not 7, not 6, 10 for 10 every time. Mm-hmm. It's like a machine. You know what I mean?
Wow.
you're not gonna miss too many shots. That's why these guys. That's why you see this guy here. He's getting $180 million.
Yeah,
man. The 12th man on the bench on an NBA team just makes it rain during pregame. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. They never miss.
I was
it's wild.
One of the guys he used to come here a lot. Duncan Robinson, he plays for the Miami Heat, and I had some people telling me, oh man, I could outshoot him. Why are Miami Heat paying him $90 million 4 years? I said, Duncan Robinson, he went to an NAIA school. Great example of went to a small school, busted his ass.
Grit, perseverance.
In the NBA, 6'10", and can shoot the three. I mean, he showed out during the bubble, when the NBA was in the bubble. And I'm like, you can say all you want about this kid. He went to a small school. He just showed out, busted his ass, and he does not miss the three. Doesn't have the best handles, not the most athletic, does not miss from the three. Because when you get to the NBA level, it's about what is your role, right? What is your role, and how do you help this team win? Like you got people say like Draymond Green. Well, why is Draymond Green? He has $200 million. He's a role player.
Got a max contract.
Yeah, he's a role player. But what does Draymond Green bring to the team? He's a glue guy.
Yeah.
You Steph Curry, you Klay Thompson. If I'm Draymond Green, I compliment one of you two.
Yeah.
To bring y'all closer. You know what I mean? I'm the guy that makes the team stick.
Yeah.
Grabs every rebound, makes every pass.
And I'm gonna be hype. You know, I'm gonna do things
great on defense.
Intangibles. Those things make championship teams. And those things, you know, if an NBA scout sees that, he's gonna take a chance and say, hey, I'll give this kid this just because I see maybe a fit down the road that this kid can make this NBA team a lot better by just being a good locker room guy,
being well rounded.
For sure. Yeah. So, give for our listeners. Obviously, you work with a lot of high level athletes. Give us an idea or some names of some people that you've worked in the past and currently work with.
So, basketball, like around here, overseas, like Earl Watson, Quentin Day. Let's see, there's so many. Like I can't lie to you, like Ricky Paulden, Kareem Rush, that are local. Like right now, Marcus Addison, he's in Italy. I had, as far as NFL, like Sammy Watkins, DeAnthony Thomas, Tershawn Ward, and Tyreek, of course, DeMarcus Robinson.
And all of them have been to the gym. I know that.
Yeah.
You know, they've all been to the gym.
They work hard. They all work hard.
But I want to ask is, my biggest question is you had to go through so much as an athlete. Let's get into this because a lot of our listeners are people who have thought about maybe wanting to make fitness their career. And we typically go for our guests or people that have been able to make fitness their career for quite some time, right? As well as we do, that a lot of people jump into it. They can last for a year, 2 years, but they never go full bore, right? And so I want to talk a little bit about your, the tribulations and, the things you've had to grind through as a trainer, because I know you didn't have, Tyreek knocking on your door day one.
No.
And so let's talk about what you feel like, maybe a major time in your career where you had to make a decision or, you know what I'm saying? Or you had to grind through something to get to somewhere where you've made this into a full-time career.
Man, so not knowing as far as where I'm gonna be training people at, like renting space at like 68 Inside Sports. And,
what was your first spot?
Field House. And that was Drive 5. Back then it was called the Field House.
That's on 135th.
Yeah. So that was the first where it all started. And at that time, I didn't know how this worked. So a lot of people used the shit out of me, didn't pay me, and to this day they owe me hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That's wild.
And I'm over here, driving here and there and going to these people's houses who are well off.
Just being a hustle guy.
Yeah, training their people, their kids, and I'm gonna pay you next week, I'm gonna pay this one, and back then I'm playing ball already, overseas, and I'm here for 4 months out of the year, so that was my side hustle, just to get a little money in my pocket.
Right.
But looking back, I'm like, man, the years I did that from 2011 to 2013, before, 3 years, 2011 to 2014 before we opened these gyms, man, it's good 100, 200K, easy.
Right.
And, because people took advantage. And, you go into training and fitness with this hypeness, this energy. And the biggest thing I can say is with that is you're gonna have your up and downs, your heels, because you go into it hype pumped, and then when you see you have to put on a show every time for your clients. You have to, after you get done doing that, you have to do the business side of shit. You got to market. You got to do your ads, your landing page, your click funnels, your lead nurture, lead retention. You got to do all the shit that you like, dang.
That has nothing to do with why I came into training.
Yeah. You're like, shit. And
that's why and that's what you just said there, Luther. I mean, I know you glazed over it like it wasn't, that huge a deal, but that's probably the biggest deal for most of our listeners to hear about is when you get into training or you get into any job that you were really passionate about. That was at the time, at one point in your life, a hobby or an interest, and it becomes a job. You start realizing like, well, dude, I didn't get into this because I wanted to do click funnels and lead generation and follow-ups with clients and stuff. I did it for the relationship and for the mentoring of young people and trying to see them get better.
Yep.
And so having to run a business is the hard part. So let's talk about that part.
Yeah, so like myself and my co-owner Molly, she already had her business, so I had to learn from her because just having my degree, I don't know shit about.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just because I got my degree in that, just like I had my degree in my other degree.
Oh
is
yeah, no one's teaching you. No one's teaching how much money to pull for taxes and shit.
No.
Yeah.
So I had to learn through all that shit, trial and error, like pay all these damn taxes. I'm like, damn, like what the hell, like. I brought in this, but damn, I don't have nothing. Like, what the hell's going on here? Like,
right.
So that's where like you hire people like strategic stuff. You got to hire like people that outsource everything, and then after you outsource everything, you just hope and pray that you're going to bring in a little bit of something the next year.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
a lot of investing there.
Yeah, and that's some stuff that I didn't. Like I said, I went in this blind and like. I wouldn't have changed it I wouldn't have changed anything except for like I wish I would have went. You go through all this stuff. Now that I know what I need to do, I do it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Instead of like hiring trainers, full-time trainers, I hire interns. That way I can mold them in a way that instill them in values, instill them to look at the business side of things.
Sure.
That male or female has to commit to a year with me. And then I want to bring them on the team. They're
coming in and they haven't actually. They got an open mind and they're ready to learn.
Fresh, they hungry. They want to be here. They want to grow. They want to see the gym do well, and they want to be part of a team. That's the biggest thing when you outsource a trainer. Most of them want to do their own thing, right? Or they already have their own ways set in their value. So it's hard to
teach an old dog new tricks. There,
it's hard to bring that male or female on the team, and then they just, we're gonna do this because they're looking like, well, this is what I've been doing. This is my money I'm bringing in. And they don't want to like put everything in a pot and see it, the vision for the ultimate of the gym win. And once the gym wins, then we all win.
Yeah.
They don't. That's the hard thing about that part.
I think what you're talking about too, it just highlights the fact of, if you're trying to start something like you have, which is basically an umbrella of people that are underneath you that are, trainers, and this also goes for like your accountants and everybody that's surrounded you from a business perspective. It's important that you're picking the right people. Right. And it's hard in the beginning, especially we had, the first employee that we ever had, the first day that he was supposed to work, he didn't show up to work because he was hungover. Yeah. And, it's just hard to figure people out. It's hard to figure out what to look for in the beginning.
You'd be surprised. I had trainers sleeping on the job in between sessions. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, we're paying you salary and you just sleep.
Like, so what specifically do you look for in a person now as far as qualities go to try and avoid that happening or try and avoid hiring somebody that's going to be basically a piece of shit? So you never know. Yeah.
I got to be honest. That's something I've still never figured out with business. You just never fucking know.
Yeah.
Like, now what I look at, I don't give a shit if you come here and know you can have all your accolades and certifications. That doesn't mean shit. Because at the end of the day, what means something is where's your character at one.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. Are you gonna be here on time? Where's your professionalism? You know what I mean? Right. Like everybody want to train, but like, do you want to do the little things? Like be here when I have to be out where I'm at with you guys right now.
Yeah.
Will you cover classes? Will you lead nurture? Will you do the sales calls? Will you do all the shit no one wants to do that way I don't have to outsource another person to do that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's, finding that person is very challenging. That's why I created an internship in order to
which is, by the way, let me just tell you that's genius.
I am looking for two, so yeah, anybody. Hey.
Dude, I mean, so here's what here's what everybody needs to understand is if I'm an intern or if I'm, someone who's a potential, applicant for your internship, everything you just said, the lead generation, these calls, helping out with something because you need to run off and do something, all that is giving them an opportunity to learn these things on somebody else's dime.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No one wants to do the grunt work, man.
Well, the grunt work is how you learn how to become the boss.
The only thing that I've learned over the years that's kind of helped me with that is to look at people's past, because usually what they've done in the past they're going to do again. So if in a previous job they were a turd and they were sleeping on the job or something like that, when you call and talk to their manager, they'll be like, oh yeah, he used to work here, he sucks. You'll see a pattern of people. And then also if they're a winner or not, you know what I'm saying? Like there's just some people that innately have a higher standard for themselves and they're like, no, my standard's up here. I expect a lot of myself. And you can tell that by obviously athletes. It's really easy to tell who that person is and who's not. We look for former athletes a lot. And then not only do I look for a former athlete, I say, what's your biggest accomplishment in that athletic endeavor? And the way that people talk about that, if they have pride in what they're talking about, if they're like, listen, man, I was this, and this, and they have some kind of pride and confidence about it, for me, it makes me feel like, okay, at least they're going to step into what we're doing here and they're going to be, a confident person, and they're also going to be prideful in what they do on a regular basis.
Right.
But, we also still screw up on that.
I'm telling you, it's
people know how to interview well sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes people trick me.
It's a very tough cycle.
Yeah.
To sift through all that, man. It's never ending. You just keep plucking at it. You hope you find the right diamond in the rough. And if you do, you try to offer them the best of what you got in your budget and what you can do. And if not, you keep moving.
Let's get to this, like the first time you had a good come up, you know what I mean? Where you had a time where it was like, oh man, there's a big opportunity for you. When did that finally happen for you? When did you feel like you hit some kind of stroke some kind of luck? That we know isn't luck, obviously, but you see my point.
Honestly, I say like when I started working with, to be honest, my Mocan basketball, they're like one of the premier top basketball teams here in the city.
It's called Mocan?
Yeah.
Okay.
And work with these kids from all over. They're sponsored by, at the time, Kevin Durant. So we work them out, when these kids come in town Thursday through Sunday. And I'm like, man, these kids are like,
damn good.
That's an understatement. These kids are all like high major, Florida, KU, K-State, like, and most likely at least 2 or 3 are going to the NBA every year. And so that was like, man, like being a part of this type of, work with those kind of guys. I'm like, yeah, this is, not only fun for me as a trainer, because these kids bust their ass in a weight room on the court. And then it's just like, man, like being around this, I'm like, okay, how far can I go? And I have a great relationship with the staff, with Mocan. They're a great organization. That was my breakthrough.
Right. And it was just a lot of fun when you're with high level athletes that also want to work hard.
You ain't got, exactly. You don't have to say, hey, come on, let's go. No.
They understand the situation.
These guys is ready to go.
That's awesome.
They bringing it. You know what I mean? So
you get any special appearances from KD?
No, I never. So he came when it was like Michael Porter, because Trae Young was his mentor. He was Trae Young's mentor, and so he would come in town and watch. He come to practice at Staley High School, and so every time I never got to meet him, but I heard he's a pretty cool dude, and he's of course KD. And
he's doing a lot for those kids. That's for sure. That's awesome. When did you start transitioning and meeting more of the NFL players?
So like 3 years ago, that's when I met Tyreek. Of course, at the time he's going through some stuff off the field, and
this was his baby mama at the time.
Yeah. So we met then, and then we just kind of like hit it off. I met him. He needed to work out, and I didn't know who he was. So believe it or not, I didn't know shit about football really.
Sure.
Dead serious.
Yeah.
And so, but I know about the body, what he needs to do. So my goal is just to keep him in shape and keep his spirits high, and I didn't know nothing about what was nothing. You know, I don't look at the news because there's so much bullshit in the news and stuff.
Sure.
So I just look at him like, hey, here's a dude who's from the hood, and let me help this dude out. Don't know what he's got going on in his life, but, you know, seems like he's got a lot of shit going on, so let me try to help this dude out just because it's the right thing to do. A lot of people don't do that shit no more. So.
Dude, I mean, we're talking about, hey, I just want to draw this together just because of what you've been talking about since we first started talking today, Luther. And let's go back to you getting $3,000 and the other two dudes getting no money. You know what I'm saying?
Just doing the right thing.
Just, dude, I mean, when you get put in a position where, you know, what's the right thing to do here? Just, hey, what would you want someone to do for me? You know what I'm saying? If you were in the same situation. So it seems like routinely, time and time again, you get put in positions where you could do the selfish thing, but you try to do the right thing and it always comes back for you. So I think that's just, you know, a testament to who you are as a person. And I say that's awesome.
Yeah, man. Sometimes it's not about money. It's about just helping a person out because it's the right thing to do, man. Like, shit, if I was down and out, like you said, like, dang, I'm going to need somebody to help me out and get me out the mud. So.
Mm-hmm.
The right thing to do usually leads to more money anyways.
Always long term, always. So when it comes to Tyreek, you started obviously putting him in a position where, you know,
you're responsible for his speed 100%.
Yeah, dude. So, none of that was boring. Yeah.
Everything with him is God-given talent. Before, like I tell anybody, he was who he is before he met me. My goal is just to keep him, you know, ready and keep him in shape and high spirited and believe in him, and like we like real tight. I look at him like a brother. We talk shit all the time. We joke all the time. You know, we roast daily, just talking shit every day.
No doubt.
Because I don't look at him like how everyone else looks at him. Dude, I just look at him like he's my guy. Like, I'm gonna talk shit to him. I'm gonna FaceTime him and say you ugly as hell. You know what I mean?
I bet he's pretty good at shit talking because, man, he's like one of a kind shit talking in the NFL with the fucking peace signs and stuff.
Well, hey, how prepared is he going to be this weekend? He's got the fastest man in the NFL race going down, right?
Yeah.
That's this weekend. So I don't know if you do this.
Who is it with McCole?
No.
He smokes McCole, I'd guess.
They already did that on camera last year in the training camp. But no, this Pro Bowl, he's going to the Pro Bowl this weekend.
Yeah, one tomorrow.
And it's tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going out there tomorrow.
Oh, you're going out there? Yeah. Balling. So when he's going, down in so this is Hawaii, right?
Vegas.
Oh, they're changing it to Vegas this year. Okay,
dude, that's gonna be sick.
So Vegas is gonna be where they do and they're doing the skills competition. They're bringing it back, and so they haven't done the skills competition in years. Yeah. And one of them is fastest man in the NFL.
No kidding. Who's he racing?
I don't know who else is in it. I would think I don't know who else is going to the Pro Bowl that would be in it because you got to be going to the Pro Bowl, right? But like John Ross had that fastest 40 time like recorded in combine history. It'd be awesome to see him race John Ross. But John Ross ain't making the freaking Pro Bowl because he can't catch. He's the fifth best receiver on whatever team he's on right now. Sadly.
I feel like being Tyreek's trainer, you got to feel like a guy who owns like a Bugatti. It's like, man, that shit is fast as hell, but there's a lot of maintenance because you don't want him to. When somebody's that fast or that genetically gifted, it's like at some point or another, you know, it seems like he could be too fast for his own good.
Strains a hamstring getting out of bed.
Strain a hamstring or, you know, do something like that. That's my only worry when I watch Tyreek play. I'm like, that is unreal. He's so fast. He's so agile.
I got a good buddy who has done the Chiefs offensive players, like stretching them, warming them up and so forth. So he's been around Tyreek in that regard. And he's like, man, he just shows up, stretches for like 5 minutes and then like does world-class shit.
That's it.
And he's like everybody else out there 40 minutes early. He's like, Tyreek rolls up, does a couple things and then does the fastest, you know, cone drill you've ever seen in the history of time. and he's like literally in the history of 3 cone drills, no one's done it faster.
Yeah. That's him.
Dude, so if you know, Tyreek's your boy, give the listeners to this podcast something that maybe nobody knows about Tyreek that's funny as hell.
He's ugly as hell.
No, I want to say give us something that like that would surprise
like a habit
us.
he has or something that's funny.
Nobody probably knows this. What do you think his pregame meal is?
Shit.
I'm gonna guess.
I don't know. I would assume that he has a dietitian that's no
Wendy's.
No,
I was saying Wendy's.
Wendy's every Wednesday.
What specifically does he get?
The Baconator.
Oh Jesus!
Fries, spicy.
Yo, man, that's not good on the stomach before a game. He's crazy.
Hey, that's what he do. You believe it or not, I
That
can't
sounds
lie to
like
you. When I played overseas,
Yeah.
man, I ate white powder donuts, Kit Kats, ham sandwich, and a frozen pizza every time before a game.
No kidding.
Dude, you know, Lamar Odom.
Well,
King
you
of
were-
candy.
Exactly. That's
You're
how I
in,
was.
like,
candy?
They call me the candy man.
That's awesome. I love it.
You're also in like Kazakhstan, where it's like, what the hell is there to eat?
Yeah, we're-
outside?
There's a movie over there, a film called Borat.
Yeah.
That's where I was at, man. It's
Oh,
fucking
God.
crazy.
Hey, dude, the frozen pizza, how is it over there?
Shit.
You had to find some random brand.
Piece of cardboard.
Oh man, it must have been. Why you had to be a candy man? It's the only stuff you can trust.
Man, I'm a huge candy. Sometimes I can remember. I look back. I didn't even eat food. I just ate candy the whole day.
That's
That's
funny
why I
as
had
hell.
like 8-9 cavities, man.
Yeah, but dude, when you're
Lamar
dude,
Odom was famous
that's the
for
early
that.
20s metabolism right there, man. I miss
Now
that.
I can't do that
I
shit
know,
now,
me
bro.
neither.
Now I'm on a diet. I'm trying to look good for my birthday coming up on April. I'm trying to just be shredded.
Hey, this is a good question for you because I know you've competed in the past. Are you with as far as bodybuilding goes? Are we done with that? Or are you thinking about jumping in?
Like I said, I'm
Masters
just
is
trying to-
coming. You know what I'm saying?
So Kim is my friend. Kim Seeley. She's my homie.
Oh, yeah.
man.
Yeah.
She's my homie. That's my role.
Yeah,
dog.
dude.
So
The
she's
posing. Don't help me. Don't help
Guru.
me. No. She had that spot in Training for
In our gym,
Warriors.
yeah.
I know. I'm
Posing
trying.
Palace.
The posing what?
Posing
Palace. Posing
Posing
Palace.
Palace.
She's awesome, man. She's
One of a
shit,
kind.
man. That's the homie.
She's awesome.
She actually texted me last week about coming out of retirement and doing one more show.
Yeah, do
So I
it.
told her I'll do one more and hang it up.
Nice.
Because it's not fun to me like it used to. You know, I was doing that because I was trying to find my next sport.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this shit ain't starving every day. You know, I like to have a life.
No
Having
candy
to
and
go to
donuts
Supplement
there.
Superstore more often, grabbing shit.
Man, yeah. Who you telling? You already know. So
I met some saying that's where we met, dude. I met you
Some
at
dude-
my Overland Park store back
Yep.
like 6 years ago.
I'm going to do one more, though. And then everything else is I got photo shoots coming up in May, so I got to look good naked.
You pick a show up.
I'm gonna do. I don't know. I'm gonna probably do something like. I'm honestly don't want to hold me to this, but I'll probably do like the Wichita one,
Yeah.
That's in May.
small. You know what I mean?
NPC though.
At the Cotillion.
In Wichita, yeah.
You heard it here first. Luther will be doing.
hell no. I said I might do it. I might.
I know.
Might. Look,
You go. Don't hold me to it. All right, everybody. We just heard him say it. He's doing it.
That's what we're gonna name the podcast.
Everybody look for Luther. He's gonna be in posing trunks. We doing physique. What are you thinking?
that's all I did.
Physique.
Done 13 shows.
Hey man, I was gonna say.
You did 13? Damn, man, that's a lot.
You started it. You started in the was it NANBF?
WBFF.
WBFF. I'm sorry. Huge in Kansas City, by the way.
Yeah.
Huge in Kansas City.
So I guess with that, man, what's 13 shows, you didn't just dabble. You were fully into that for a
Yeah,
long
but then
time.
I'm like, I'm
man.
losing money and I'm not getting no return on investment. And
Yeah.
like,
But I mean,
don't get me wrong, I love it. I
yeah.
love watching, like competing. It's just
The Nutrauthority contract out. Is it over?
the what?
You used to get some free stuff from Nutrauthority, I thought.
Who is that? No, I had Magnum.
Magnum?
Yeah, they used to send
Okay.
me stuff from Canada. And then when I stopped competing, I didn't get shit. I'm like, damn.
How did Magnum get such a stronghold in Kansas City, you think? It's crazy because between you,
AJ.
Ryan
AJ.
Waters.
Me and AJ.
Who's AJ?
AJ Ellison.
Oh, of course. Okay, then is that how? I'm like,
I
dude,
don't
how
really
did this
know.
brand from Canada just like spring up in KC and like
well, I thought it was
everybody
Hitch Fit because they sponsored
That's
Hitch
what it
Fit.
was, yeah.
Yeah.
It's Hitch Fit and Micah.
Michael Lasser. Yeah, he brought him.
Micah was training him. Was what's his name? Help me out. Marcus. Marcus, like
I can't say
Or
his
the
last name. He's like
yeah.
Canadian. So yeah.
yeah,
He's cool as hell.
the
though.
GM or whatever, the VP. Or
Oh,
whatever.
Callius. Marcus Callius.
Marcus Callius. Yeah, super nice dude.
Yeah, super cool.
So when it comes to moving forward, now we're done with. We started getting into sports performance. You're still competing, but those last few years have been really focusing on training athletes. Correct?
Yes.
Is that where we want to go moving forward? Because I know you're in a spot now where, your gym in Lenexa, you're sharing that spot, right?
Right.
Or we want to stay in that spot, or we want to move?
Honestly, I just want to stay there, grow it, and my ultimate goal is to grow it, get into good standing, and start doing more of this. What I'm doing with you guys, podcasting, going to travel, going to more speaking engagements. I've done some stuff with some colleges already, so I want to get into that.
More mentorship stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that, man. I think you're meant for that, to be honest with you. So I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And it seems like a natural fit, because you've had basically so many different things that you've done in your life, from being a pro athlete to working with pro athletes to working with general population people. Your perspective is just it's wide,
And you've worked with women, you've worked with kids, you've
Yeah.
worked with white, you've worked with black, you've worked with them all. And let's talk about a little bit, like, we've had some guests on here, tons of gym owners, and trainers who had to navigate, COVID and during the shutdown and whatnot. And you had like a totally different experience than most, right?
Yeah, so we had 2 gyms. One at least some we lost it due to COVID. Because at the end of the year, we weren't gonna be able to pay the property tax on the building. So we lost that.
So did you guys own the building?
Yes.
Okay.
We lost that, and now we have Lenexa. Lenexa, we did not. We during the shutdown, it was so tough. We got into online training, and then from online training, I still got the players out at their houses, or did stuff, to make ends meet until the PPP loan got through.
Right.
So it was super tough on us.
Just doing whatever you could at the time, right?
Man.
You guys had to. Were you keying in athletes? A lot of gym owners I know, we were still training out of those gyms.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, I was. I had to, man. I was like, man, I gotta do something. This sitting in the house shit, man. No one understands. They can say all they want, but they don't understand when the bills come. They coming every month.
This is the reality.
The landlord didn't want to give us no slack. We pleaded like, look, could you put this on the back end of our lease?
Mm-hmm.
No.
The problem with all of that is, and I don't know if this is going to be a controversial thing to say, but it's like we knew early on in the pandemic that the negative outcomes were striated by age and by health. And so it's like you're training athletes, you know what I'm saying? It's like the problem with the government's mandates is that they were just a blanket mandate for everybody, but it's like you're telling the healthiest people in our population, they can't go train or they can't make money, And
this is the only way they make a living.
Yeah, this is how they make a living,
And your money came from having employees, and you didn't have a lot of employees. So your PPP loan was like miniature compared to other people's PPP loans that could be maximum. So for our listeners that aren't business owners, understand that the money that you got from the government was based a lot on how many employees.
It was fully based on your payroll.
On your payroll. Yeah. Right. And if you got, unpaid interns.
They're going to come after that shit too.
Yeah.
Right.
If you don't have your documents lined up and you
it was a pain in the ass. Like we
I forgot what pro athlete's going to jail right now for that from all PPP loans. Dude, a very big name athlete is going to prison right now because their PPP loans didn't line up with what they said. It was all like an embezzlement.
Exactly.
So moving forward, you had to do that. You're in a spot where you're keying in the morning trying to just make ends meet until we get more clarity on what's going on with these shutdowns and when you can actually be a gym again. And again, this is something that I want to ask you about because no one else had to deal with this like you did. And so during 2020, during the shutdown, it was also a time when George Floyd was going down, and dude, everybody was upset in different ways in different formats. And so on Blackout Tuesday, you made one post in support of BLM, and how'd that affect you as a business?
I lost about 11 to 14 clients, white clients, who
that day.
That day, they let me know their thoughts and their views, and they do support the cops. And I'm just like, hey man, everybody to his own. I didn't know how strong you felt about this topic, but it brought perspective on ignorance, and some people are just stuck in their ways. And I don't, there's good cops, there's bad cops. I don't want to get into all that. It's just.
Here's my question though. It's like, I think the more troubling thing about that is, did any of those people just come to you and be like, hey dude,
let's have a conversation?
I want to have a conversation. I want to understand your perspective better. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, they didn't. They gave me some fucked up text,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
but I'm saying that like it's like you're damned if you damned if you don't, because let's say you didn't post that, how many of your black friends are reaching out to you saying, dude, what the fuck? Why haven't you posted anything in support?
I played football in college. I played with a lot of black guys that were from the hood, and when that happened, I got people that were posting to post a black square, to not post a black square, and I was just like, what the hell is going on? Yeah. As a white dude that's watching all of this happen from the outside, I think that for a long time it was just like, I don't even know where I stand on this. It's like, obviously, you have.
See, it turned into a bad controversy, and the whole point of the purpose behind it was just
it washed away.
It was blurred.
People were just using it as a way of attacking each other.
And so like that's the whole point. Like with everything going on in the world, I look at sometimes people. You guys are entitled to your opinion about shit. I'm entitled to my opinion. At the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and tell another man or woman or try to sway someone what they believe in.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, my whole point is, when you look at religion, politics, race, all that shit, people use certain things to divide people.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And I don't agree with that. I just feel like, hey, everybody's telling their opinion. It is what it is. At the end of the day, let's all get along. Let's shoot the shit.
Live by example.
The truth is too is like most of us have, we agree on 99% of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and the things that we don't disagree on probably are inconsequential.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like people have a reason to want to divide people.
Oh
You know what
man,
I'm
yeah.
saying?
I mean, this most recent dude, I saw this thing like yesterday that I thought was so powerful, and it was just talking about, hey, we've gone through 2 years of mandates. We've gone through not being able to do this, not being able to see our grandparents, not being able to do this or that. It was like, hey, you think it'd be just as easy, for you to just, follow a diet and exercise, 3 times a week and, just be in good health, because that's what this was all about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Health.
Right.
And then you forget in your head, like, wait a second, I forgot any of this was about health.
Right. You do?
I forgot any of this had to do with health when it came to mask mandates and, being able to not social distance. Like, is this really about health anymore? I don't know, man. It's just kind of wild to think about it like that. That's all. But dude,
I also have, it's so wild because the people that are, you can see a divide in the people that are dug in, and they're just like, I'm going to ride this thing till the wheels fall off, as far as like mask mandates and demonizing vaccination status.
So for me, I'm just cool with everybody. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to, whatever you want to do.
These are the ones that we're talking about. So when Luther went into a business, a few weeks ago, and he got kicked out because he didn't have a mask, he simply asked on Facebook, hey y'all, does anybody, know what's going on with mandates? Do we not have a mandate?
NOP.
And we're in Overland Park, Kansas, in Johnson County, which there was no mandate at the time. So you're just like, is there a mandate? I just got kicked out of a business. And you got how many DMs? 17 DMs regarding your views, wanting to know what your views were, and saying, because you were wondering, do I need to wear one or not? People were texting you that and they were like, you're part of the problem?
Yes. So I had to take it down because I'm like, man, I didn't mean to stir up shit. I just asked a simple question because I called 2 or 3 of my boys like, hey man, I don't know. So I'm like, well shit, everybody else do it. The one time I do decide to put some shit up, I'm like, oh shit.
And this wasn't like controversial. You were just simply
I just
asking.
said, hey, is there a mask mandate in OP?
That's it.
17 DMs. Oh, you're part of the problem. You're a piece of shit.
Unreal, man. That's what I'm saying. It's just such a hypersensitive time, man.
People have become religious about their positioning on that. And for me, like we were talking about before the podcast, it's like, dude, just leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. Yeah. Just leave me alone, man. That's all I want.
Yeah, like I don't. Yeah, I feel the exact same way. But like the less the government has to do with anything that I handle, the better.
The government is just full of morons.
This could get slapped down in a lot of ways. But this is honestly my very simple view. When it comes to government, everything that government controls is typically my most hated place to go, right? So if I have to deal with USPS on my mail, I'd rather deal with UPS or FedEx, right? Like I don't want to call a post office. Straight up, this just happened to me last week. I had a package say it was delivered to a parcel locker with no address and no number, no nothing. Just it was delivered to a parcel locker, even though I live in a home. So there was no reason to have a locker of any sort, right? I go to the post office. They tell me I have to go to a different one. I go to that one. That one tells me that I need to talk to a supervisor. I get the supervisor's number. I had to fill out a form. Someone's going to call me. No, nothing happened, right? Like I have not received any call, no nothing. I called them like 5 times, no answer. My neighbor down the street walks over and says, hey man, someone delivered me a package on accident. Hands me the package. No parcel locker, no nothing. Like, anywho's. You got the DMV, the most hated place on earth, the most like eye gouging, punch me in the throat place of all time is the DMV. And all of these places, like I said, are government run. Why would you want to have give the government more control over things? No. Nothing's run efficiently. There's no accountability. You can't call them and be like, hey, they didn't do a good job. It's not like I'm going to get a gift certificate to mail some packages, when a private business messes up, you get something back.
Is the government can go $20 trillion in debt, but like, give me, you know what I'm saying? Like for us, there is no mercy in that respect. So anyways, that's enough government talk. Back to kind of what we were talking about. Actually, let's get on to,
I was gonna say he just lost, 11, 12 trainers. That's like where we left 11, 12 clients over this. How did you get out of that, dude? You know what I'm saying? Like that was like the most hard time of your business, I bet.
I just stay positive and went with what I had and just kept training, man. Can't do what else can you do, you know?
I guess. I mean, did you have to do any more click funnels? Did you have to do any more, client
we've been doing
acquisition?
that, and then referrals and, DMing people, all that shit.
Sure. I love it, man. When did you guys start building out that Lenexa facility?
That was 2013.
So if they want to train with you now, that's where they'd find you.
Yep.
Now, is it Luther Glover workouts or is it training for warriors?
It's 8255 is Luther Glover workouts, and then 8253 is Body by Design. That's more of our weight loss, personal training, 101, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Cool,
and then,
man.
And then my side is the sports performance.
So the TFW, that's no more?
It's still TFW. It's just the name of it is Body by Design because people were getting intimidated by the name.
I'm with you.
So
I like that name, by the way, Body by Design.
yeah,
That's great.
So typically at the end of the show, we go into a couple more questions that are just lighthearted. And we ask every single guest the same question, and that is, what is your favorite barbecue in Kansas City? You're from Kansas City. You've lived here all your life outside of playing professional basketball. If you have one spot to go for barbecue, where is it?
it's Gates.
Oh, Gates. I don't know if we've gotten Gates on the podcast yet.
Haven't had one Gates yet.
I'm rolling with Gates.
Okay.
Beef on bun.
Yeah, man.
What specifically would you order from there?
Beef on bun.
What specifically? Beef on bun. That's what they call it?
Beef on. You go to, as soon as you go to the door, they be like, "Welcome to Gates. How may I help you?"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Hey, they deliver late too. Gates is open till like 1.
So I do beef on bun. That's it.
I love it.
Beef on bun.
You know
Hey.
why I don't like Gates, man? It's
Because they don't greet you like Luther just said.
Yeah,
They
I
don't
was
say,
like,
how
You
may I
gotta
help
go to the
you?
one in the hood. You gotta go to the hood.
The one that they greet you, they don't go, how may I help you? They're like, what do you want?
Yeah.
They like yell at you.
Yeah, you gotta go to the hood, man.
I think more than anything, it's just I'm not a fan of the sauce.
Dude,
Man,
Gates sauce? Gates sauce is good, man.
Nah, man, it's too tomatoey for me. That's just my opinion.
You love ketchup. You love ketchup.
Listen, but when it comes to like a sauce, I want it to be like sugary and really shitty for you.
Man, pick you with the sauce.
Yeah.
Man,
Well,
I can't believe that you don't love Gates. I
Hey,
think Gates. I bought
dude,
Gates
the
sauce
last-
not even living in Kansas
That
City.
man is picky on the sauce.
Yeah, I'm just saying that the last guest that we had on here, or actually you've trained with him
You know
before,
Julian.
Julian.
You know Julian Marquez?
He was like, listen, dude, sauce has nothing to do with barbecue.
He's right.
I'm like, dude,
He
listen,
got-
it's
he
just
got
not my.
into it.
You got really into it. I was like, man.
He's like, listen, you like coffee? He's like, then don't tell me what cream or sugar you use
yeah.
because the coffee by itself should be
Yeah.
enough.
Facts.
He's like, don't you put sauce on barbecue? Barbecue's good on its own.
He's right.
I'm like, all right, well, do you have a favorite on yours or do you just
No,
go?
besides get the barbecue, I'm good to go. Throw some, like if I get a burger, if I'm at the crib, I do grill or some shit. Just give me mustard, burger, and a cheese. If it's slice of cheese, I'm good.
Yeah, yeah.
That sounds
Burnt
great.
burger. I need a burnt burger.
All those European meals, man, they got you jaded. You're
man.
you're good with some of the.
And I do not
crappiest-
will not eat curry chicken at all ever in my life.
I love it.
Oh,
I played in
gosh.
India, man. I eat that shit all day. I never do it again.
Yeah, man.
Just the smell alone probably gets your stomach churning.
No more curry chicken.
Dude, I can. All right, hey, so we have some Spitfire questions for you now. What was your favorite outfit to wear for Kansas City fashion? Don't think I'd even seen you in Kansas City fashion, Luther. What was your favorite outfit? You've walked in how many shows? You've walked in a lot of fashion shows, bro.
I like my Sub-Zero outfit.
What's that?
Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero for Halloween?
Yeah.
Respect. If you, what's your go-to fast food joint? You know, we were talking about Tyreek's got Wendy's.
Unforked.
Unforked?
Oh, dude.
That's classy.
Yeah,
you
man.
can't even
cool.
call that
I'm
fast.
super cool with the owner, Jim Sheridan. Great
Yeah.
guy, so I'm tight with him.
Dude,
So I go there all the time.
you drop that name, you get a free burger. That
Yeah, I
asking,
go check out Unforked.
You do
What-
the tacos?
dude, no, that
Do a little bit of everything.
what's
Yeah.
that burger called that they
Pure
it's so
burger.
good? It's so good. It's like
Man.
Askanushi or something like that, like some random.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like not Wagyu beef, but it's like up there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Oh man, Unforked is some good food.
They have their tacos are money.
Amen. So all right, so you said barbecue sauce. You have a favorite?
No,
You go down with rubs only.
I just I don't-
When you're cooking for you're doing shows, what's kind of meal prep do you like to have? What's like your go-to meal prep item?
shit mustard. 'Cause
Yeah?
I'm real. I like to. So I can't when I'm doing this shit. I gotta have everything bland.
I'm with you.
I can't have it where it tastes good or I get
Craving.
Cravings go up.
I've been using the shit you guys got that overdrive or some shit. From
Oh, the
Perfect.
DV.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I have bad cravings. Like I love sugar.
shit-
Like I told you.
Yeah.
So I just what I do is I just have to have all my food bland as shit. I can't have like just keep my asparagus, my ground turkey, and sweet potatoes in the afternoon. Daytime, all my starches and shit like that, and that's it.
You know yourself, man.
Dude,
So
when
it's
you're
like,
deep into a prep, is there anything better than sweet potatoes? Sweet potatoes start tasting
With
like a
cinnamon and
dessert.
shit, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
that sounds amazing. So yeah, the DV Overdrive does kill cravings, though, don't it?
Yes.
The 213, you done that one before. What'd you think of that one?
Not bad. I just now that I know how, like you said, in your body, you just get the shit you need, like the joint shit. I do the joint stuff, the thyroid stuff, and the protein and
Keep it simple.
and the Vitapack, and that's it.
Dude, that's a great stack, though. That's an awesome stack. All right, so last thing, you're done with your prep. Let's imagine. Let's go back to these 13 shows, and you're done with the prep. What is the ultimate cheat meal craving that you went for?
Honestly, I wasn't like whatever came to mind. Like I have all this shit in my head what I'm gonna get, and then I just end up getting a large pizza and calling it good.
Right.
Large pizza.
The show gets over. It's like too late to get anything, so you just got to get pizza
whatever the fuck you
delivered.
want. Or you wait till the morning.
You go knock it out at Walmart or something. Just go down the grocery aisle, start putting your arms out.
I'm not picky yet, man. I'm a low maintenance date.
I love it.
After I did the Missouri, Jeff Wasserman showed up at my house the next morning, and he had a whole box of donuts. And I probably
See, I
sat there
wouldn't
and
ate
ate
the
all
donuts.
of them.
Chocolate Long Johns and milk. That's his
Oh,
thing.
no, give me a whole dozen of Krispy Kreme original glaze.
Respect.
Oh, yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Hot, dude. Hot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, you got to warm them up. They got the microwave directions
No,
on
dude,
the box
you can
too.
go. You can get them fresh. You know.
I know, but that's tough to do. I'm just saying. It's easy to just get them at like they sell Krispy Kremes at like gas stations now and shit.
Right,
like
right.
You get
just
them through the
microwave 'em.
drive-through though, hot. I mean, man.
There's very few things out there that taste better than that. That's probably one of the best tasting things out there. All right, last question. You said you were a candy fiend, the candy man himself.
Yeah.
You get one candy. It's not
Reese's
chocolate.
Pieces.
Reese's Pieces by itself, right there.
That's it.
Reese's Pieces are deadly because you can eat a pound of them. You know what I'm
I
saying?
actually have a box. I'm gonna post on my Instagram today. I have a box. When I tore my meniscus, I had a box of them.
Yeah.
I was sitting on my couch. I had my clients bringing me shit from Walmart. Literally just
Handfuls of
Hammered
Reese's
them.
Pieces.
I ate about 465. Y'all know Jonathan with Family and Muscle?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Ask Jonathan. He took me to one of my shows, man.
he's
I
a
had
great
about,
dude.
Great dude.
Yeah.
I ate about 470 of them.
Oh
I had
my
all the
God.
rappers in a big ass box.
Oh, you're talking about like you're talking about 470 like miniature packs,
Yeah.
or like pieces themselves. Like you're counting the pieces.
Yeah, we counted pieces.
Jeez,
I
dude.
think it was like 473
Oh my
in
gosh.
8 weeks because it took 6 weeks for my knee to heal. So 6 weeks I ate 4. So I'm just fucking.
That's incredible, dude. Reese's Pieces are incredible,
Man,
though.
what?
So that's a good answer. All right, brother. Hey, we got a lot of people that are planning to meeting you for the first time by listening to this podcast. Please tell them how they can find you.
Like you guys can find me at my Instagram, Luther Glover Workouts. Twitter, same thing. Snap, Luther Glover 06. LinkedIn, same.
Luther Glover Workouts, easiest way to find you.
Thank you for coming on, man.
Dude, seriously
really
appreciate you.
the
And,
conversation.
we're going to bring our team over. We're going to have you put us
Yeah,
through
do
a
that
hard ass
shit.
workout.
Let's do it.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
Thanks, man.